on a holiday. People think we're always on holiday, and we kind of always are, but we have worked a lot recently. So in December, we decided to actually go on a cruise on the Ovation of the Seas on a 12-day trip around New Zealand.
For you.
Cruise. We love cruises because they're kind of like a holiday in our crazy life of full-time travel. Even though you could say I'm always on a holiday, it kind of usually doesn't feel like it because we're usually traveling and house sitting and moving a lot and working every single day and serving people and having coaching calls and all those kind of things. So the intention for this cruise was to really slow down and to really allow myself a holiday. Homework from my Tony Robbins results coach was to use my skill set of overachieving and of always being busy and always keeping myself busy and always learning and always growing to have as much fun as I can possibly have. And that was the intention I took on this cruise. So every single day I grabbed the cruise planner where you see all the things like when is the roller skating, when is the bumper car riding, when is the climbing wall open, and really scheduled fun. I really put an intention to have as much fun as we can possibly have. I found that relatively hard, not the scheduling in itself, but to really enjoy the moment and just have fun. So on day one, I was just, I don't know, a bit seasick, not really seasick, but the waves are really high and the bed was like woo, 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 and I couldn't sleep very well, and then I was cranky the next day because I didn't sleep very well. I had a lot of personal challenges to really tap into this energy of it's perfect, you're having fun, you're allowed to be happy, you deserve to be happy, you deserve to have fun, and everything else is an opportunity to grow into even more fun. Then it got better. I'll show you.
Of all the places I've been, for me there's nothing like waking up with you. And I'm a little tired, cause I've been traveling the world looking for you again.
Bingo!
For you. In this tropical house. I made this tropical house for you.
Our first stop was the Bay of Islands in New Zealand, where we walked into the city because it was such a beautiful day.
Ocean air. Ocean air. I made this tropical house for you. In this tropical house.
For Andy's birthday, I got him a tour to the glowworm caves because he really wanted to see that.
For you.
If you want to film an empty cruise ship, just get up at 5.
Want to go on holiday with me? I might wake up at 5 o'clock and be like, I'm bored, let's do something. So we're exploring the cruise ship without people. Welcome to a cruise.
Keep going. Careful.
The next day we had a stop in Rotorua where we went on a mountain with a cable car and had a lot of fun there.
Little otter babies?
I want an otter.
Of course you want an otter. Hey otters.
Hi. Hello.
You got any Easter eggs for me?
Hello.
In Wellington, we had an absolutely amazing day at the zoo. I'm such an animal lover. Wherever we go, if there is some form of an animal sanctuary or animal park or zoo, we usually have to go.
Flowers in her hair. No one ever loves her. I love to be there. These days.
So Susie was looking desperately for a post office to get rid of her postcards. And look what we found. The universe right.
You don't need me, need me, need me. Living in the summer, it didn't last too long. And no one never loved her. I loved the way she called. She called. Whoa, these days it's not easy.
Day 5, we went on a trip to Rotorua. Lucky us, we didn't have a personal interest on climbing a volcano. And we had an amazing day out, and when we came back, the ship didn't leave at the time it was supposed to leave. And then the captain made an announcement that there was a volcano eruption on White Island, and that a couple of people who went on a tour to White Island are still stuck, and it's not sure what they're not sure yet what happened, so we're going to wait for them. I didn't really understand the severeness of what happened in that moment, and it wasn't really indicated as well, but I started taking my phone out and googling, and I saw right away that there is really severely injured people and dead people as well. And even though we're totally not involved and we don't know anyone who was involved. I don't know, it was really kind of devastating news. And I do remember we spent the whole evening watching the news, like waiting for updates, waiting for what actually happened and who was involved and what actually happened to those people. I found it really hard to just move on. So I remember we didn't go to bed, we watched the live news, and then we informed family because we realized that this is going to be in the news, this is going to be bigger, there's many people involved, and they're going to name the ship in the news. And I knew that my parents knew which ship we're on, and I then did reach my parents with just a quick WhatsApp message, and then we went to bed because it was pretty late already, and I've been watching the news and hanging on my phone for hours, and it was just not helping anyone, neither was it doing me any good. I slept horrible that night. I slept a couple of hours, and then we woke up and checked the news again. And that's when it really became clear that there is a lot of people, that basically no one who was on this excursion is coming back. They either haven't survived or they're in hospital. And that was a shocker. And then at the same time I felt guilty for feeling so bad about it, because again, I'm not involved. I'm just on the same ship like those people. But when something happens, like a natural catastrophe, and you feel like you're close by, and it could have been you if you would have just made another decision, like a small decision that you feel like doesn't matter, like which tour you're choosing, that made it feel really real. And then what happened is we stayed in Taronga until they found everyone. There were missing people, and the police had to investigate, and nobody really knew what was going to happen, if we move on with this trip, if they are going to cancel the cruise, if we're all going to fly home, or what. And I was pretty shaken by it, to be honest. And then I felt guilty that I'm so shaken by it, instead of just being really grateful. I was really grateful. I am really grateful. I'm so grateful that we are fine, that we are safe. But at the same time, my thoughts were really close to the people involved, the people who lost their family, the people who lost parts of the family, the people that didn't know what's going on. So I found it really hard to move on, particularly with my "I'm having so much fun here" project. That seemed so small out of a sudden, that seemed so insignificant out of a sudden, to worry about fun and bumper car rides and doing the climbing wall, when there is people who went on this trip with me that will never come back. So we spoke about it a lot. Andy and I spoke about it a lot. I feel like 2 days there was nothing else on my mind. And at the same time, we really found a whole new level of appreciation and gratitude for our life, for our health, for our safety. And it also really helped me, thank you, to put things into perspective. To put things into perspective that I have been worrying about, business stuff, money stuff, when I'm launching my next program, and if I'm overwhelming myself if I launch it in December. Nobody gives a fucking shit about that. Nobody cares, and it doesn't matter if I launch the Mindset Journaling Tribe in December or in January. What matters is how you live your life, that you do live your life to the fullest, and that you appreciate what you have. And sometimes it's really sad that we need an event like that to remember who we are, what we're meant to do, that we have to follow this journey, that there's just no other path, and how lucky we are, how happy we could be. This is my final conclusion. When at the beginning I felt a bit like, who am I to have fun whilst there's so much tragedy around me, or in general. I mean, there's always tragedy in this world, and I have a history of finding that hard. I have a history of finding it hard to know there's people starving in Africa, whilst I'm just focusing on having fun, or being me, or feeling good, or taking care of myself, or helping others to create an online business. Everything just seems so small when you compare it with the big tragedies in life. But I do believe it is our duty to live life to the fullest. It is our duty to follow our purpose. It is our duty to enjoy every single moment. And yes, it is also our duty, and it's not selfish, to really focus on you living your full potential, you being happy, you having fun, because that is how I can serve people. That is how I can help people. Only when I am fine and safe and healthy and happy can I actually serve and donate and volunteer and just be of service to others? If you're depressed about your own life, you're probably not of high service to others. So, oh, here's what happened then, okay. So 2 days after the volcano eruption, we had like a little ceremony, which was really beautiful actually, where the native New Zealand people came to the ship and started a process of healing and blessing, and also wished us a safe journey on our continuous voyage. That was kind of their closure ceremony, and then they did decide they will move on. They will move on with the cruise, they will move on with the cocktails, they will move on with the party music, they will move on with everything as normal, as in the show must go on. I didn't know how I feel about that, to be honest. I found that hard. So we left the next day and everything was back to normal. People went to eat cocktails, but it was still a very somber atmosphere on the ship, because it's not easy to shake off. I find it particularly hard to just move on. Might be perceived as a weakness, but I actually think it's a strength of mine, that I am feeling for people, that I am spending and sending my love and my thoughts and my prayers to people involved. And then slowly but surely, for me, it was really about tapping more and more and more into gratitude and appreciation, and feeling how blessed I actually am, feeling how divinely guided, loved and protected I actually am. And then get back to the challenge. Get back to the challenge of making feeling good my priority, and breaking the pattern, which is a pattern that I had my whole life, to feel guilty or feel ashamed about feeling good because there is others who are less fortunate. I still find that hard, but I actually think it is my duty to still make me feeling good and me being of service to others my #1 priority. Oh, and then I started sharing that I'm fine on Facebook, and a woman messaged me that I don't know. She was in my Facebook group, and she said, "I want to know if I think my brother might be on the same ship as you, but he's on a cruise ship to New Zealand with bumper cars, but I don't know if it's your ship." And I was like, oh, holy shit, yes, it is my ship. There's probably not many cruise ships with bumper cars on them. So I didn't know what to do in the first moment. I was like, well, I don't want to text this stranger that yes, her brother is on this ship, but I don't know if he's fine or not. And I was thinking how I can help her, what I can do. So I told her, yes, I think it's the same ship, and if she could try to reach her brother. And she said, well, he doesn't have like internet or an international phone. I was like, oh yeah, well, yeah, makes sense, we're overseas. This was a tiny thing, but it was really like, I was like, well, what can I do? Give me the name of your brother. And she gave me the name, and I went to guest services, and I honestly thought that they wouldn't give me this information, because it's none of my business to get private information of private people that I don't know. But I explained it to them, and I said, look, there was this woman who's not on this ship. I don't know her. She messaged me on Facebook. She doesn't know if her brother is on the ship and if he's all right. I guess you can't just give me names from people. Could you maybe inform the brother to reach out to the sister? And they were actually really, really sweet, and they just checked, and they just told me right away that everyone is on board and that they are fine. So I told her that, and she and her mom were incredibly relieved. And it was just a tiny, tiny thing, but I felt like, okay, this was something I could actually do, and I could actually do someone a favor and take the, you know, the anxiety if their family is involved off their shoulder. Here we are, practicing to move on without feeling selfish, practicing to enjoy life without feeling guilty. And that's it. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Checking in Sydney in a couple of minutes. I'm up to see the Opera House. Thanks for joining me on this cruise video. Can't say it was the most relaxing trip of my life, but I'm working on myself. The world's still asleep. Maybe it's too windy. That's it. Back in Sydney. Back to life. I do really appreciate that most people on this cruise go back to a job tomorrow. And we just continue with the next adventure.